Alright, so looks like the game will be loading very shortly. Yeah, this is gonna be... This should be a good one for potentially the last time. Both teams exiting the base, making their way out to Summoner's Rift. We Make You Fizz is on tournament point. This is the eSportsHI LoL Summer League, and this is the finals, the finale. This game is for all the marbles. For We Make You Fizz, if they can clutch this out, then they will win the tournament and all the prizes that go along with it, including the very nice and shiny Ryze, Triumphant Ryze skin. And it looks like we have a pause, but for what reason? It's probably some sort of technical issue. I'm not going to mess with the interface until the game is moving again, just to be safe. But yeah, this is the finals between the top 2 seeded teams. Very fitting. Both teams seem to be relatively evenly matched. Both teams can clutch out, can definitely pull comebacks out of their pockets, but they can also hold on to leads when they get them. So this should be very interesting. We Make You Fizz is up 2-1 in this race to 3 wins. And I, of course, am your host, as always, Dark M of the Odo faction, who is providing this stream. But a big shout out to eSportsHI for getting in contact with Riot for all the prizes and whatnot. As we see, once again, an invade on the red. And we'll see how the LoLdo faction responds. Is there gonna be a fight this early in the game? Doesn't look like there will be. They don't want to go into unknown territory. Minions have spawned though, so Cho'Gath needs to hurry up and get back to lane. And Vayne and Sona look like they might be going for the swap. Yes, they are. They're heading up to top lane. So it will be a 2v1 lane this time. Vayne, of course, wants to get that 2v1 just for the guaranteed farm. Cho getting spotted out by a ward. So, but not before he placed a deep ward of his own. A pink ward actually goes down to cover that ward, so that's really interesting. We'll see if they go to clear it. Looks like Sniper Worm will. Yep, he's gonna go clear it on the blue. That's very, very helpful for the general. He'll be able to take the blue, and Vio won't be able to see it. Ooh, but it's already some big damage going on to Sneaky. His shield had already been broken, so he's gonna have to just chug those pots and pray. But they do ping the general out, so they know that he's doing his buff. Unfortunately, there's not a whole lot that Vio can do because he doesn't know exactly how low the general is or how low the blue is. So he's just playing it safe and securing his own buff. And he's going to make his way up top instead for a gank. And the general is already coming up for the counter gank, reading Vio very nicely. And of course, Sniper Worm with that try warded, so they're able to stay at least a step ahead of Vio. Well, we do see though that JDK has already been able to accumulate 8 CS. And in a 2v1 lane, that's a pretty big accomplishment considering that... oh, and here comes the counter ganks. Jarvan is in a bad spot, has to flash out, so that's a good resource burned right there. Unfortunately, the general didn't have his red buff available. It looked like it already timed out. Oh no, actually it didn't. But they're still gonna play posture up on this turret. Nice condemn into the wall, getting some damage off onto JDK, and they need to force objectives soon. Because TF is on that ticking clock, and once he hits 6, he's going to be able to roam up. And that was a lot of what caused things to go wrong for them in the third game. They avoided the ganks early on, but eventually the TF ults did start paying dividends. And we see here Vio making another move to try to make something happen, or just to at least to try and stall them out from pushing the turret down. As long as he can keep them from destroying the tower, he's doing a decent job. Ooh, Cho'Gath's Rupture was way off right there. And I'm surprised that Sato didn't go a little harder right there. He should have known that Vio had no flash. And he still had a cleanse available for the Cho silence, so... Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't go a little harder right there. Then again, Cho does have Ignite, so I guess they're just playing it safe for now. They did force him away, and they go right back to working on the turret. Cho wisely not really bothering to harass them back, but a good Silver Bolt proc does eat a tower shot. But good on Cho to just concentrate on the CS. And the general kind of babysitting Sneaky out of necessity to make sure that he can get some CS going on his own. And Soul Seizure's doing a good job because they're probably communicating that Jarvan is still top. So the longer he stays top... Oh shit, that's really bad. That's really, really bad. Okay, so he was at least able to survive that with his flash. But now that resource is down. Cho'Gath did burn Ignite, but yeah, that's still really bad. The fact that he wasn't able to tumble out of that engage really hurts them. Because now TF is level 6, so if TF decides to come up top, Vayne will have no summoners, and that will probably be a first blood. So yeah, things going very, very careful. Both teams playing very careful, taking minimal risks, but still managing to blow summoners, which is important. TF looks like he's gonna go back. Yes, maybe. The longer Zyra can keep him in that lane without backing, the better, because that's just killing TF's early game slowly but surely. But on the other hand, Zyra probably doesn't know that this gank is coming. Oh my goodness. If that gold card had landed, that probably would have been pretty big. Without the Ignite though, I'm not sure if they would have been able to get that. Jarvan did not yet have Cataclysm, so... But yeah, now Zyra is forced to back off, which is going to give TF a decent window to shop and then start roaming. Okay, get some AP going. And Images and the Mare are doing a great job of pushing down the bottom turret. It's going to go down very, very soon. And again, we see the general getting invaded once again. Those deep wards. I'm surprised that they haven't been expecting that. But then again, with so much activity going around the map, you can't really blame them. It's really hard to keep track of where the junglers are all the time. But Soul Seizures really needs to start warding up by his Wraiths just to cover that entrance, because he cannot let Jarvan just walk in there for free. Due to the nature of the 2v1, Sneaky Deep is going to be pushed up the turret all laning phase. So him warding is just out of the question, other than his own try. He's not going to be able to ward the river, so Soul Seizures either needs to ward, or the general needs to start warding his own red. Just to make... warding the entrance, rather. Just so that that stuff doesn't happen. Okay, so taking a look at the early buy items, not surprising, TF with a very efficient Sork shoes plus the Doran's ring. Tristana still hasn't shopped yet, but she probably has a good chunk of gold. Yep, sitting on 2,000 something. So that'll be Berserker's Greaves most likely, plus the BF sword. And it looks like Vio is stacking up as a 3-man to secure this turret. Cho should be able to hold this with his Rupture Scream combo. Yeah, and he clears that out pretty easily. Sato once again missing the stun. And the Dragon, the advantage of being the dual lane on the purple side, or the dual lane in the bot lane in a 2v1, is that Dragon is usually free after the first turret is taken. And yeah, that's going to secure at least a 3k gold lead for the moment. The General forcing a flash. I'm not really sure if Cho needed to flash that. And Soul Seizures not paying attention again. And he gets first blooded. Soul Seizures should have known that they were doing Dragon right there and should have just backed off, knowing that Twisted Fate was probably not alone, but he just wasn't thinking about it, and he paid for it. And he also just threw away the mid turret for free, I think. Yeah, that's gonna go down in another wave or so, and the LoLdo faction is not in position to get there in time with the Tristana steroid. Sniper Worm trying to get them off the turret with ulti, but that was kind of a waste. Nothing really was accomplished there, and that's a cooldown that they won't have in case they fight anytime soon. So just like that, 2-to-1 turrets and a Dragon. 15.6k to 12.3. We make you Fizz just going to work, doing what they do. Just textbook objective control and team coordination right there. The LoLdo faction just really proving that they are just not as adept in the 2v1, and it's just really showing in the lead right now. And instead of the boots, Tristana opting instead to just flat out rush the Infinity Edge. I do agree with that. That is a great idea since they are so far ahead in objectives and turrets for the time being. And Vayne coming out of laning, the quote-unquote laning phase with just the pieces of Blade of the Ruined King. So if she can get that Infinity Edge finish, she'll be way ahead of Vayne. And this is giving JDK some much needed time to CS, and he is CSing very well. Props to his ability to collect CS in the lane with his skills. And he is up 69 to 36. That is quite respectable, considering that he's been 2v1'd and sometimes 3v1'd multiple times. And he has already finished that Rod of Ages. The sooner you finish Rod of Ages, the better, so you can get those stacks on it. Very effective. And we see the General moving down potentially for a gank. And they are going to get in unseen. The River Ward doesn't cover that much vision. TF still hasn't used Destiny yet. He could be saving it for the right time for a counter gank potentially. But for the moment, it looks like the General is not sure if it's warded or not, so he's just going to go in. But there it is. And the hook's going to come out just like that. And Gank City Mirror will go down. TF wants to ult in, and he does. Why did the camera pan away when I want to see what's going on in bottom? I don't care about the top lane. So, okay, so TF burned his ulti, but nothing came of it, so overall it was just a 1 for nothing. And Zyra will get some time alone with the turret. Okay, so that was a good kill picked up right there, but Sniper Worm getting caught out now. VO16 doing a really great job of taking advantage of that pink ward. Unfortunately, the flash will end that gank, but still a very nice answer. Nice response from VO. Caught Sniper Worm sleeping right there. Ooh, and Sneaky Deebs having a hard time farming under tower. Malphite, definitely not the easiest to farm under turret with. Cho'Gath has a little bit more leeway because when you build 10 tanky and AP, it's not as bad. I don't know why Sato hesitated right there. But Gang City Mare is probably dead again, yes. I guess Sato was not sure if they were fighting that or not, so he kind of did a little U-turn right there. But this will maybe give the opportunity for them to push down mid. I don't think that's going to happen though. They do have the wave clear, and it's a long distance wave clear on top of that. And We Make You Fizz is grouping up finally. Cho'Gath starting to get those Feast stacks on deck. A lot of free health. It's going to make him tanky for free. And a cloth armor. It could be for Ninja Tabby. It could also be for Frozen Heart. Frozen Heart is a great item to have on Cho'Gath for the team. And he didn't quite get the ward before it timed out. That was unfortunate. That troll ward. Again, for those of you just tuning in, this is Game 4 in the best of 5 between the LoLdo faction and We Make You Fizz. We Make You Fizz is up 2 games to 1, so they are on tournament point. If they can win this game, the tournament is theirs. And the LoLdo faction will have to settle for the runner-up position of 2nd place. Both teams have fought a lot of matches to get to this point. Some comebacks had to be pulled and maybe some throws here and there, but these two teams still pretty evenly matched. The gold lead still in the favor of We Make You Fizz because of the dragon and the extra turret, and they are just waiting in the brushy for someone to walk by. And I find it is so funny how the camera is just still stuck on them. They are just waiting, and the LoLdo faction does not look like they're in the mood to check. So instead they will just take the dragon, which has respawn, and that's just going to give them more free gold. And more importantly, experience as well. Levels very important in this game for a lot of champions. And it looks like the general getting a little sidetracked. Lets Jarvan come right in from the side. VO16 will survive. Sniper Worm so close to dying, but they are kiting back quite admirably. And Cho'Gath going down in all that, and nobody going down for the LoLdo faction. That was quite amazing how nobody died. Sniper Worm did have to flash to reposition, but he did escape, which is big. And Sato and Sneaky Deebs are still very healthy, so that's really good for them. So yeah, kind of a misstep right there by We Make You Fizz. Gives the LoLdo faction some gold and momentum in the mid turret, evening up the mid turret counts. Both outers are down now. Checking out the dragon, obviously, because they weren't really sure of the timer, I guess. And they'll know for sure now that it's gone. And they were thinking about pushing the bottom turret, but they probably don't want to push their luck. They do know that Destiny is still available, which could really bite them if they get caught by it. That's essentially what cost them a lot of their momentum in Game 3, getting caught out by Destiny. Even with flashes and cleanse, it's still very hard to escape Twisted Fate when he does that. So taking a look at the items, Sneaky D is working on that Sunfire Cape. Standard builds coming out all around. Blade of the Ruined King on Vayne, Infinity Edge locked in finally for Tristana. So she's gonna have those crit bonuses, and her steroid Q will give her a lot of opportunities to crit. Supports basically mirroring each other's builds as standard, and Lich Bane looks like gonna be prioritized for Twisted Fate, and the Chalice, the Unholy Grail coming out for Soul Seizures. Again, very standard. Top lane looks like it's getting 2-man right now by We Make You Fizz. Again, Tristana scales so well with levels because of her passive, increasing her attack range. And it's going to make sieging towers so free. I don't know if they can fight this. She does eat a lot of damage. That was not the right time to ulti, in my opinion. That was way too slow. By the time he had already queued, the snare was wearing off, so I don't agree with Soul Seizures wasting his ult right there. A little bit of nerves right there. Both teams probably feeling the pressure. Snowballs in this game, momentum in this game is just so powerful. You can't afford to have too many mistakes. And yeah, I still want to comment on JDK's CS advantage. That will be a big difference. That is a lot of extra gold that he has compared to Malphite. Malphite does have 2 assists, but yeah, JDK doing a very good job, and he's gonna get tanky in a hurry. He's gonna become a problem eventually. The good thing is though that they do have Vayne, the LoLdo faction does, and Vayne is one of the best killers of tanks in the game, late game. So we shall see how late this game goes. Both teams do have hyper carries, but I'm pretty sure that the Make You Fizz would like to end this game sooner rather than later. Definitely. As we see, we Make You Fizz grouping up, heading towards the Baron, actually. Oh, and they're gonna do it! Yeah, they're starting it. And Sato is way out of position. They have no idea that they're doing this. Actually, they might have an idea now. They are circling around, but... Ooh, the Baron getting kind of low. They do have Cho Feast. Oh, never mind. They actually don't know. So they're gonna get this. Cho Feast plus Smite means that it's gonna go down. The General wants to fight this. We'll see what they can do. They're gonna have to burn some. They're gonna have to sacrifice JDK, it looks like. Nami ulti kind of wasted right there. I don't agree with that. They just need to sack JDK and just let him die. So, not the worst thing in the world. Early game Baron buff, not the biggest of deals, since most fights will be out in the open and not under turrets, but still. They did manage to also force flashes from Tristana, from Nami. Cho's flash just coming up. Oh, and the big all-in with the knockups, the bouncy house. Very well executed dive right there. Knockups upon knockups upon knockups. And just like that, two targets down from We Make You Fizz. LoLdo faction. Looks like they want to try and take this turret too. They most definitely could. Holy crap, that feast came up really fast. But I don't think the Make You Fizz want to chase this. Yeah, they can't chase this. They just need to back off. Okay, so they kind of underestimated the cooldown of Feast right there, but still. The inner turret down, very important. And similarly, the LoLdo faction are in a decent position, even though they're not ahead in gold because of the Baron, obviously. But they're in a decent position now where they can, they've seen that the all-ins from them are effective. So they can win fights. The problem is, though, that all the objectives are still more or less going to We Make You Fizz. That inner tower was big, but the Dragon and the Baron will more than make up for that in terms of gold. And they will pick that up no problem. But yeah, this is still anybody's game, for sure. That all-in bouncy house comp proving very effective. Plus the crescendo on top of everything else. It's going to make it really easy for them to all-in anybody at this point, regardless of who it is. As Image is getting caught out in the bottom lane farming, he's going to have to get back there ASAP. But yeah, the LoLdo faction are in a decent position in terms of map control, so they just have to make sure that they don't relinquish it. They cannot forget about Destiny. Destiny very, very powerful in terms of seeing where everybody is. Jarvan kind of trapping himself inside. I don't really agree with him doing that. And Malphite just zoning out the back line with Jarvan. Oh, I mean with Nautilus, excuse me. And Jarvan is too low. He can't really do anything. But Tristana does pick up the kill. So Soul Seizures needs to flash away, but VO will pick that up. Yeah, and there, just like I said, they were in a decent position, and then they just they made a mistake, and that is effectively more or less an ace. I mean, Vayne got away, but whatever. That was a huge fight for them. Big throws. I'm saying it. Big throws by the LoLdo faction, but that is the nature of League of Legends, the game of throws. Sometimes it just happens. They were too obsessed with finishing off the red. They probably should have just backed off as soon as the Destiny came out and not forced the fight. Malphite, I'm not sure if he must have used his ulti, but I'm not sure where and when. But it still wasn't enough. Tristana with that Infinity Edge and the Baron buff still ticking. Was so unkillable. And Nautilus isn't exactly a DPS tank. He can blow his cooldowns and lock somebody down, but if someone else isn't outputting damage, then it's not going to matter. So in the end, that Cataclysm by Jarvan actually did help. It basically zoned most of the team off from the back line. Even though Malphite and Nautilus were able to get there, it didn't really matter. So the silver lining for that was at least there were no inhibitors lost, but an 8k gold lead now is pretty big this early in the game. So I'm not really sure if the LoLdo faction are in a position to fight anymore. They're going to have to try and get lucky with picks. The problem is, We Make You Fizz's team is just as good at getting picks, so it's going to be very tricky for them. There's still plenty of game left to be played, but both teams are probably one major mistake away from losing an inhibitor at this point. Particularly the mid inhibitor. And the general should be on his way down soon. He's spending a lot of time farming out that wave, and they see it. So they might look to go aggressive now that there's not a whole lot of people. Whoa. The general getting cut off there by Cho, so he's going to have to take the long way around. They need to clear those creeps away so Tristana can't auto for free. And it looks like the general wants to fight. Rupture did just get burned, so that's not the worst thing in the world. Sneaky Deebs is trying to get to the back line, but nobody else is with him. And this team fight is just going horribly wrong. Nice dodge on the Stranglethorns by We Make You Fizz. Soul Sieger's is going to go down, and Vayne getting knocked up. And yeah, that's going to be another clean ace. Not the cleanest, I guess. They do sacrifice a lot of people for it, but still a fight in their favor, 3-5. But yeah, just not working out the way that they want to. Their best fight so far was when they dove them under the turret, and all the ultimates hit one after the other. But with Malphite going that deep, it's probably not a good idea because he's all by himself, and then he just gets four-manned. And shoutouts to Veal, also playing very well in these team fights, using Cataclysm at the right moments to either lock people in for confusion and control, or using his ultimate to zone. So yeah, again, 34.8 to 43.5 is now the gold difference. Very convincing gold lead for sure. The towers are kind of even. The kills, 12-9, not the biggest of leads, but yeah, that gold lead is just really hurting the LoLdo faction right now. Baron is now back up on the table, and I don't really know if the LoLdo faction have an answer for this team comp. They seem quite lost in these team fights. They definitely can't keep approaching the fights the same way, otherwise they will eventually lose. Baron being started by We Make You Fizz, cleared out of course, so there's no vision on it. The LoLdo faction, once again, slow to react because of the lack of vision, and they're not going to be able to get this, I think. Unstoppable Force comes out, they clear out of the Baron pit so that they don't tank it, Sniper Worm taking a ton of damage from the Baron. Goes down to half. They do get the shutdown though onto Cho'Gath, and they take out TF. So, that's kind of tricky. Looks like they do want to go for the Baron anyway. Jarvan is still in the area. He is pretty healthy considering, and he does still have his smite up, so someone's going to have to zone them. Tristana might be looking to go for a ballsy play as well. And there's no way for... Oh, wow! Vayne going very hard. A couple more shots. Yes! He got him. Got him. So they do peel off the Baron, but they do kill images in exchange. The LoLdo faction were very, very worried about possibly losing the Baron. That probably would have been the final nail in the coffin if they gave up Baron right there. Sneaky Deeves teleporting to the bot lane outer, and he will be pushing that down. So yeah, that's good. They killed Cho'Gath, which means that his stacks reset, so he's going to have to build those up, but he's honestly so tanky already that building up stacks isn't going to be an issue. But the next time they fight, they should be able to get it up to full again. And for the first time in a while, the LoLdo faction in position to take the dragon. That's going to go down 100%. And some much needed gold in their pocket, now only down by about 6k. So this game's still up in the air, very, very close. This has been a great finals. So yeah, just passing the 31-minute mark. Again, this is Game 4 of the Hawaii Low Summer League finals between We Make You Fizz and the LoLdo faction. The LoLdo faction are up 2-1 in this set. And so if they win this game, the set is over and they are the victors. If the LoLdo faction can win this, they will force a 5th and final game. Yeah, so we will see what the call is going to be. Mid is pushing up for them, but that shouldn't be an issue since everybody's there. We Make You Fizz can clear that out, no problem. Bot lane looks like it's going to start pushing out in We Make You Fizz's favor. But, whoa! What the hell? Vio looked like he was either typing or lagging right there, and he burns his flash immediately. That would have been horrible if he lagged out right there. And the LoLdo faction will be making a move for Baron, but they should know how heavily warded that probably is. They need to hurry up and clear these wards very quickly. And they're going to send a couple people up there to push that out. Never a bad idea. And the Baron dance continues. All the while, bot lane is pushing against them. And it looks like we're going to have kind of a base race. And I don't think this is going to work out in the LoLdo faction's favor. The inhibitor turret is wide open. Oh my gosh, this is a horrible misstep by the LoLdo faction. They're going to get some free damage on this turret now. And Tristana's just going to melt this. They're going to get it. Oh my gosh, that could be the final nail in the coffin. The general kind of with a rage all in right there with that ulti. Vayne getting zoned out by Cataclysm. Blowing all the ultimates onto Jarvan. I'm sure they're okay with that in the long run. But Tristana not able to get the damage out that she would like. So this is a nice counter push for the LoLdo faction. They are still 4-man strong, and Vayne is still alive at full health. So we'll see if they can mount a counter push here. The death timers are not that long, less than 30 seconds on Jarvan. So we'll see what can happen here. I don't think they're going to go for it. They would be crazy to go for it. Oh my gosh, they're crazy. No, they're not going to do it. So yeah, unfortunate. The death timers are going to probably pop them up just as they're finishing the turret. Or just as they're about to get to the turret, I should say. Sato really needs to hit the turret. But holy cow, a lot of damage coming out. They need to leave. They need to leave immediately, and if I were to make you Fizz, I would make a beeline for the Baron right now, because they know that 4 of them are chunked. We'll see if that is the call or not. But that would definitely be, this would definitely be the window of opportunity for them to go for the Baron. But yeah, once again, the LoLdo faction just getting caught out of position. They just did not respect We Make You Fizz in the base race, and they said they're probably just going to do the Baron and we'll trade towers for it. But instead, We Make You Fizz with a great response, pushing up the mid instead and getting that inhibitor turret out of the way. And it looks like right now the lanes are pushing very much in the favor of We Make You Fizz once again. Top and bottom are both pushed up. And they are huddling around the Baron again, looking to maybe catch somebody out. And Sneaky Deebs does... He should have teleport up very soon. So he should be able to join a fight now and split push freely. He does have the Sunfire Cape to help him with that. But the LoLdo faction are so preoccupied with the top lane that Baron could become an issue soon. Sato needs to hurry up and clear that out as soon as possible. Oracle's playing a huge part right now in vision control. Just a battle of the wards right now. And Sneaky Deeb's doing a great job. He has a huge wave behind him. And he is split pushing. And that turret is looking mighty tasty right now. We Make You Fizz needs to make a decision very soon. They see now that he's on the turret, so they're backing off. And they look like they're gonna possibly go for the mid inhibitor. That's a great call from We Make You Fizz. It's gonna force Sneaky Deebs to teleport back. Oh, and they just got cut off. This inhibitor's free. This inhibitor's free. That was so good from We Make You Fizz, cutting off the LoLdo faction as they were trying to run back. The general going in. I do not agree with this. This could be the... Could this be the fight that ends the tournament right here? The general's going really low. Dragon Strike finishes him off. Vayne walks right into the wave. Soul Seizures is gonna die, most likely. And then we're gonna get the Goomba Stomp resets, maybe? Oh no, okay, so they do take out a bunch of people for We Make You Fizz. So this won't be the game-ending fight by any stretch. But I don't think Sneaky Deebs is gonna keep chasing that. But yeah, I really think Malphite should have just used his teleport to get back there faster. Recalling basically meant that they could walk up for free because the LoLdo faction could not walk the short way to the inhibitor unless they get jumped on. But I guess he really wanted to hold the teleport. But honestly, with the inhibitor down, teleport doesn't really have much effectiveness unless you're gonna backdoor the base. But We Make You Fizz's base pretty healthy right now. They still have inner turrets to spare as well. So yeah, LoLdo faction slowly but surely crumbling and losing ground fast. We Make You Fizz just slowly but surely, as is this whole set has been slowly but surely, closing in on their victory. Still maintaining their 6k gold lead. Baron is available if they want it. We Make You Fizz is probably going to make a play for it now since they know that their base can't really be left alone for too long. And We Make You and LoLdo faction doesn't really have a whole lot of good wave clear to prevent pushes. Vayne still with no major attack item, opting instead for the Last Whisper. So Sneaky Deebs going back to the split push. Did not really pay off for him that much though. We Make You Fizz responding to the split push very, very well. Not losing their composure and getting pulled around the map. Instead just calling their split push bluff, saying, hey, you know, your mid is free, so we're gonna take the mid. And We Make You Fizz posting up now for a surprise party for somebody, but it doesn't look like anybody's gonna check. Well, actually the general just checks over with a ward, so now they'll know. And they just noticed now that they were standing on a ward. That's pretty funny. So Sneaky Deep's continuing to do the split pushing. We make you Fizz. Looks like they're gonna catch the LoLdo faction here. Oh, but luckily the Jarvan initiate does not work out. That was very fortunate for them. Unfortunate for We Make You Fizz. If they had caught them there, that could have potentially have been the game-winning fight. Soul Seizures getting knocked up, but nobody in position to follow up. Malphite continuing the split pushing. Communication here is going to be so key as to when Malphite teleports in. They're also going to need some wards as Tristana ulting away. VO16 all by himself. He does manage to E out. Soul Seizures really bad positioning. At least he got his ulti off and Zhonya so he can walk away and continue to throw out spells from a distance. So a really good fight right there for the LoLdo faction. However, their base is still in trouble. The super creeps are still pushing them out, and their Nexus turrets are probably not going to withstand another wave or so. So Soul Seizures was low on health, so good call for him to recall and save the base. The death timer's getting pretty lengthy though, so they should be able to get this turret down, as Images does have to recall and heal up. So Soul Seizures almost dying right there, but able to get his ulti off and Zhonya's to save himself. That was very key. And it looks like things are going to reset once again. And the gold lead is now only about 2k. So yeah, taking a look at the items now. Tristana with the holy trinity of 80 items. Infinity Edge, Phantom Dancer, Last Whisper, Frozen Heart, Abyssal, and Rod of Ages coming out. Randuin's in the works too for Cho. But yeah, like I said, Vayne is the tank killer. And every time JDK dies, he loses stacks. So if the fights become super accelerated, he's not going to be able to stack up in time. As we see TF taking his blue, LoLdo faction hurrying up, trying to get to Baron as soon as possible. But they're quickly losing vision because of the oracles. So they're going to have to approach with extreme caution right now. They are walking into warded territory. As We Make You Fizz posturing for position right here. We'll see how this works out. This could be the fight that decides the game right here. The inhibitor has finally respawned for the LoLdo faction. However, the lanes are still not pushing in their favor. This is the story of the game for them. Constantly having to keep the lanes in check. Vayne finishing up that GA, that's going to be very good for her. And We Make You Fizz has their sights set on the inhibitor once again. And it looks like the LoLdo faction might be caught out of position, but I think they're going to get there in time to at least fight. And instead, We Make You Fizz opting for the bottom inner. And that's going to be pretty free for them, I think. Yeah, that turret is so low already. They just need to be careful that they don't get aggressed on by Jarvan. Yep, so it's a textbook objective right there. And they'll just back up. No problem. Nothing the LoLdo faction could really do about that. If they had tried to split push, right, to counter push, they probably would have lost more in the long run just because they have Tristana. Tristana and Twisted Fate Lichbane, just so good at pushing towers.
Lucky them.
And they actually thought somebody was there checking the red, but nobody was there, but they'll just take the red anyway, no problem. That red buff's going to be so good for Tristana with her range and attack speed, just able to apply that buff, that debuff over and over and over for kiting and for chasing. It's going to be very, very good for her. Vayne's going to wish she had that for sure. And it looks like We Make You Fizz is going to play it a little safe. They're going to clear out their own red buff as well, take their resources as they can. As again, another very long game. Almost 45 minutes. How is this 4th game going to end? Will the LoLdo faction bring it to a decisive 5th game? Or will we make you Fizz seize victory? Again, posturing at the Baron. Not going to do it, though, because they know that they can't take it nearly fast enough, and they can't win a fight once they take too much damage from the Baron. So they have to be very, very cautious. And it looks like we make you Fizz is going to make another play call here to say go for the mid. Jarvan caught out, but that's not the best target. They do zone Tristana out a little bit. The tidal wave missing most people. Vayne needs to be careful for Jarvan. He does avoid a lot of the damage. Wow! Really nice team fight so far by the LoLdo faction. They get 2 for nothing right there. And a very nice stagger by Sato to avoid the bubble. I approve of that. Destiny getting popped for no reason. That very well could be the game. They should have enough damage to end the game here with the 40 death timers. Or maybe they're not going to end the game. We'll see. The general looks like they want to, yeah, they want to go for it. And it's just Nami with no ulti, so they could definitely do this. Oh, very nice call by Malphite to use his teleport. That's exactly what they needed to do right there. And that's probably going to be the game. Yeah, 12 seconds on Cho'Gath. That's a free Nexus, so wow. 5th game. LoLdo faction tied up 2-2 off of a great team fight and just the death timers and the map positioning. So we're going to game 5.